All right, welcome back to the channel. Deontay Wilder, #1 pound for pound on Forbes list. Isn't that wonderful? And it's sending all these people into spasms. So you know I love it. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers, and I mean that. I had taken a 4-day break off of making videos, did some live streams, but haven't actually sat down, made an argument about a point in boxing in about 4 days. So I'm really happy to be back, excited to be talking boxing with you. To the subscribers, thank you so much for your support. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell icon. Also, thank you so much to my Patreon community. We got a video coming out today on the Patreon. I think that you're going to like it. And also, thank you to everybody that comes to the live streams. OG Boxing Talk was very good this Sunday with myself, KQKC Boxing, Blood Boxing, Trap House Boxing, my man Curtis Anderson, and we had a special guest this week named Coach Shelton Harris, who usually covers MMA and boxing. Really great topic. Now let's get into this. Deontay Wilder, the title was something like this. You can go to Forbes and check it out. It was, look, it's time to give Deontay Wilder his due. He's the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. Stop acting like that ain't the case. Okay. Now, first things first, I want to say I never put heavyweights on the pound for pound list. Okay. I never do that. And the reason I don't do that is because I'm a fan of the history of boxing, and I understand that, first of all, the way that they're using this pound for pound stuff right now is not the way that it was ever intended to be used. Right now, it's a marketing ploy to give credit to fighters in smaller weight classes and use them and give them some artificial name recognition so that these promoters can sell their fights. Okay, it's just a public relations list that's put out by, individual people have their opinion, but then, Ring Magazine has their list, ESPN has their list, right? But it actually doesn't mean anything. The way it was supposed to be, though, was it's supposed to be just one guy, the pound for pound king of boxing. That's it. Not supposed to be pound for pound #1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That crap came along. The longer it and the more people, when people were looking for a way to market their fighters, that's when they came up with this long list, top 50, top 70. It's completely hypothetical, make-believe nonsense, because they're never going to actually fight each other. So I'd usually never put heavyweights at the top of the list, because heavyweights, you already know what's going to happen between these heavyweights and guys that are fighting down at 130 pounds. They will, if a 130-pound guy got in the ring with Deontay Wilder or got in the ring with Anthony Joshua, he would literally punch him in the head and he would fly over the turnbuckles and land in the 4th row. Okay, so heavyweights don't really need to be named pound for pound, because you know what would happen if they fought somebody else that was their size, right? They're gone. So I usually don't do that, but I love this because they continue to violate. A whole bunch of people violate that rule. They violate the rule of having more than one guy. They violate the rule of a list, right? Then second, they violate the idea, they put heavyweights up on there. So since you're going to put one on there, yeah, why not Deontay Wilder? There's as good an argument for Deontay Wilder as there is anybody else. Who on that list has got more fights than he does and have not lost? Nobody. Because Canelo Alvarez lost? Yes, he has. Has Canelo Alvarez knocked out 41 people? Or what is the list now? 41. I think he's 43-0 with 41 knockouts. Anybody else that's knocking people out in their weight class like Deontay Wilder has? No. Do you know anybody else that has reigned as a champion in their division for as long as Deontay Wilder has, other than the little guy down there at minimum weight? No. So he's the longest reigning champion in boxing. He's got the highest knockout percentage in boxing. He's undefeated. He's beaten. I mean, what else you got to do to be considered somebody that's that effective? Why not have Deontay Wilder be #1 pound for pound? But people will say, "Oh, that's crazy." It's crazy. I think that was in World Boxing News. World Boxing said, "Oh, the Forbes shocking and crazy pound for pound list that has Deontay Wilder on top." What's so crazy? What's so crazy about it? I mean, I could see that you would believe that you could disagree, but crazy? You have people that have Monster Inoue atop their pound for pound, #1 pound for pound on their individual lists. What has he done? He's got 16 fights. You got Lomachenko up there. Somehow people can get their head around a guy with 14 fights, right? But excuse me, at the time people started listing him as #1 pound for pound, the guy had like 9 fights. So you can get your head around somebody with 9 fights and a loss being #1, but you can't get your head around somebody that's been reigning in a weight division for 5 years, a guy that has knocked down or knocked out everybody he's ever fought, who's undefeated, who has one of the longest, who has the 6th longest title reign in the heavyweight division in the history of the heavyweight division. You can't get your head around him being #1, but you're okay, and you can. Oh yeah, I can see why a guy that's 8-1 is the #1 pound for pound guy, right? The guy that doesn't ever knock down. He knocks down a guy that doesn't knock out anybody, right? Come on, man. Come on. Because, he's had more wins in more weight divisions. Yeah, but there is no weight division in the heavyweights. Even the weight division argument. Heavyweight does not have any weight limits, man. Deontay Wilder's literally beating guys that are 50 and 60 pounds heavier than him in the ring. When is the last time any of these guys have beaten anybody that has outweighed them by 30 pounds? I can tell you, Deontay Wilder weighed in at 219 pounds last fight. Luis Ortiz weighed in at 236. Last time I checked, that's 20 pounds. That's 20 pounds. Deontay Wilder weighed in at 109 pounds against Tyson Fury. 109. Tyson Fury weighed in at 160. He's 260. That's 51 pounds. Deontay Wilder knocked down twice, laid him flat on his back twice, a guy that outweighed him by over 50 pounds. Isn't that pound for pound? When is the last time you've seen anybody knock down somebody or knock out somebody that outweighed them by 40 pounds? Now let me see. What would Deontay Wilder do? Let's do a pound for pound. What would Deontay Wilder do to Tyson Fury if Deontay Wilder weighed 260 pounds? Right? Isn't that the logic people use? Well, if you were the same size, what would it be? Okay, first of all, let's think about this. How many weight classes are there? How many weight classes are there in boxing between 50 pounds? Right? So let's see. Let's start at the lowest weight class, which is 105, and go to 155. Okay, so there's 105, 108, 112, 118, 122, 126, 130, 135, 140, 147, 154. There's 11 weight classes between 55 pounds. And Deontay Wilder gave up that much weight against Tyson Fury. What's so crazy about making this guy pound for pound? He literally is knocking guys out and beating guys that weigh who at much more severe weight disadvantages than anybody else in boxing is doing. But it is crazy that he could be pound for pound. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Let me explain this one more time for you. The heavyweight division is not actually a weight class. It, in the sense that there is a minimum weight and a maximum weight, okay? There isn't. Matter of fact, because there is no minimum weight to compete in it. People can fight at heavyweight at whatever weight that they want to weigh in at. If Canelo Alvarez wanted to move to heavyweight and come in there at 175 pounds, he could do it, no problem. Roy Jones Jr., I do believe, fought John Ruiz at 196 pounds as a cruiserweight. He weighed in as a cruiserweight, fought for the heavyweight championship. Yes, he did. And there is no upper weight because you can be as big as you want. You be 500 pounds, you're still gonna fight at heavyweight. You got Nikolai Valuev, who's dang near 7 feet tall, weighed 270 pounds or whatever he weighed. He was a heavyweight, just like Alexander Usyk weighing in at 102 pounds. Okay, so please don't tell me that this is crazy that this guy could be the pound for pound best. He's got the statistics, right? He's got the statistics. He's got the weight range of guys that actually beating guys that are much bigger, but you don't like it because you don't like Deontay Wilder. Let's just be real with it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because he's the king of boxing, because he's the king of the heavyweight division. He's the king of boxing because he's the king of the heavyweight division. And anybody can get it and will get knocked out when they get in the ring with that dude. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. With that, I'm out. Peace.